So, hi everybody. I have with me the fabulous Steve Jones, who is with Sense of Spirit, which is a fabulous new company that Steve has been working on. And he is also a medium. He's actually my partner in crime, I like to call it, for Two Mediums virtual table tipping event that's coming up on Tuesday, October 13th. It's actually an online event that's held on Zoom. And if you've ever had the opportunity to either sit with a table tipping session with me or with Steve, this is a great opportunity to do it in the comfort of your own home. To maybe, if you have friends throughout the country, have them purchase a ticket too. And it's great for family, it's great for friends to connect with their loved ones on the other side. And what we do is we bring you forward to table tipping, which is a form of physical mediumship. And table tipping allows you to connect with your loved ones. It allows you to connect with friends, pets, spirit guides, and even ascended masters. So I am really fortunate to be able to work with Steve with this event. We actually ran it in August, was it, Steve?
Yeah, August 13th, I think.
And it went so well, we thought we would do it again for October. Because let's face it, this is a great time of year to think about our loved ones. The veil's starting to get thin. And that's when loved ones are stepping forward. And I think that paired with great messages of light and love and messages that are healing and helping, I think is really important. So Steve, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, because we're going to actually post this on YouTube too.
Okay, I've been doing this for a little over 4 years, the mediumship, and then I got the pleasure of going to a table tipping and with Tori, and like anyone else, when I first got there, I'm like, yeah. And then she came through, and then it said it was my mom, and then I think the table knew that I was like a non-believer, and it spelled out my mom's name, which was Delma. I don't know. There's no way anyone would know that Delma. And from then on, after all the tears and the table tipping and hugging, and I just said, I got to do this. And so I did it kind of scary on my own. I did get the table tip, and I called. And my wife Dawn is like, you better call Tori. So I did, and she said, well, I usually don't teach people, but I can see that you're going to do it for the right reasons and because of the compassion you have for it. So she taught me, and I've been doing it roughly right around 4 years. And I was honored that she asked me to do the virtual with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think Steve brings forward a great opportunity he's a very strong medium. He's a very strong healer. He comes from, is it Cherokee?
Yes, from my grandparents were like great grandparents were full-blood Cherokee.
So he brings forward a great connection to the earth, a great connection to Father Spirit and to the Great Red Way, you know? So I think that is a great asset. And Steve is available for readings, whether they be in person in the Dartmouth area, Dartmouth, Massachusetts, or even if they are virtual. You are doing some virtual ones, yes?
Yes.
Perfect. Smart man.
I'm doing both, but I do it in my house. I mean, I'm very safe. I wear a mask, and so people do come, and I got a couple healings this week and a couple readings this week set up. So.
Mm-hmm. So Steve does a lot with healings. Do you do Reiki as well?
No, I do trance healings, which is very similar to Reiki, but I use spirit instead of the energy.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the trance healing is where I just open up to spirit, and then they just basically help me, and it's just the person lays there, and I put my hands on their shoulders, and what it basically does is just takes out any energy and that their body doesn't need, and then fill it with good energy from the spirit. And then you also, their healing is also there too. I'll see my grandmother working on, and I'll say to someone, do you have problems in your hips? And they'll say, yeah. And I said, well, because I could tell because my grandmother was working there. because I use my grandmother, my grandfather, and my cousin, and they see a lot of things like Reiki. You will see things, but spiritual. There sometimes you'll spirits too. Like recently, I've been coughing a lot, which people know that that's when the spirit's very close, and so they'll ask that question, and I'll say yeah. So, and it also clears them. And so, it's 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 almost like the same thing when they go to get off the table, they can hardly move. They're like, wow, I just feel like everything is so good. But instead of the energy like a Reiki, I use the spirit to help me through the mediumship.
So let me just clarify, when you said that they can't get off the table, it's usually because they feel so good they're melting into the table, right?
Pretty much.
Yes.
They're just like, ah.
Exactly, exactly. And it is your same spirit team that helps you with the readings and the healings that also helps you with table tipping, yes?
Absolutely. I just use my safe guys. But I also I protect my room with four archangels. But then I use to bring them forward. I help with I have my guides that help me.
Perfect. Okay. So with table tipping, it's a form of physical mediumship where usually in a perfect world, we sit around a three-legged table and we bring forward protection with the archangels and anchoring the space. I have a gatekeeper that I use that's St. Michael. And my spirit team to basically kind of protect the space and to help bring energy that is of the brightest and the whitest of light with messages that are healing and helping. And it's something that dates back to Victorian times. And basically what we do is we go through a meditation to kind of help get everyone grounded and clear, firing on all cylinders, as I like to call it. And then we open the table and spirit comes through one at a time and brings forward their messages. Sometimes Steve's guides or my guides might help them if they might be new to spirit. They might help them with a boost of energy if maybe something happened while they were alive or near the end of their passing. Sometimes Mother Mary is there. That can be very, very comforting. So my spirit team is Michael, the Archangel, Merlin, Mother Mary, and Freddie Mercury. So, and that leads me to the next thing I wanted to quickly mention, because Steve has also had a lot of great success bringing on, I'm going to say, key classic figures. Most of his have been figures in music who have had a lot to contribute.
Yep.
So who have you been able to bring forward and allow them to kind of fill in information about who they are and why they're there and so on?
Well, the first one was Janis Joplin. She's one of my favorites. And I didn't, of course, like you told me, don't tell anyone that they're going to come through. And so it's just come through. And then the people that's on the table, they just have a ball with it. They couldn't believe it. Of course, someone said, can you smell the sage in the background? We know that that's not used to what you're smelling to Janis. Of course, the table started going crazy laughing because and then I brought in Elvis one time. And I asked for Elvis to come up, and he did, and the people were just shocked. And then someone said, "Do you still dance?" The table danced for almost 5 minutes. It was just amazing.
Yeah, and definitely table is how individuals were in real life is how they are in spirit, I find. So if they were upbeat and jovial and like to dance and like to move around, they're going to do the same. If they were grumpy curmudgeon, guess what? Grumpy curmudgeon in the afterlife. So again, we focus on messages that are healing and helping of the brightest and the whitest of light. And some of the people that I've brought through, let's see, I have, oh gosh, it keeps on growing exponentially. I had Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. We had Jesus the other day, and Mother Mary. Who else? Fred Rogers. Prince.
On our last virtual table tipping, we had God come through for Chris.
God comes through every so often for certain people that might be kind of not listening to the signs. As a way of saying, do I really need to come down? I always get the mental image of like God driving the car. Don't make me come back there, with the kids kind of bickering in the background. And so sometimes people do need that kind of reality check, and God will provide it. We've had a lot of different other archangels that have also had messages. We've had Norse gods and goddesses. I've had Isis. I've had David Bowie. I've had, did have Kurt Cobain. Who else? Tom Petty. Gandhi. Winston Churchill. We've had, what's his name? He was a horror writer. I'm drawing a blank. Kind of a creepy little guy from Rhode Island. Not Edgar Allan Poe. It'll come to me. Harry Houdini did make an appearance one time, and he was a total, you know what. So he wasn't invited back.
I haven't had that strong of, I've been putting it out there more and more, but like I was said earlier, I have a lot of pets, which just the people just, sometimes I think they're more happy to see their pets than they are their family.
Sometimes, well, they're treated like family in most cases, so it makes total sense. And I've had people who had recently lost a pet, and their pet came on table, and that's exactly what they needed at that time. So Spirit gives us what we need when we need it. It may not necessarily be what we think it is, what we want, but it's what we need, is always what I tell people.
And also Spirit will come true for themselves too, to kind of clarify an ending or something they needed to say.
Absolutely. If something wasn't, said before a passing, they'll say it there. Or, they're just usually there to kind of let their loved ones know that they're there, that they're present, that they know what's going on. They're making reference to certain things that maybe you've done in the house that they like or don't like. If you've just redecorated and mom was gone before the redecoration process, and you've redecorated and mom comes back and says, yeah, no, I'm not terribly fond of the yellow chaise lounge. I've had that happen too. So this event is actually taking place on Tuesday, October 13th. And tickets are still available. The nice part about doing it on Zoom is, like I said, you can do it in the comfort of your own home. And you Zoom into it. So that means that you can be kind of seated comfy. It is from 7 to 10 p.m. And we are trying to get multiple messages for people. So not just one person comes through for you, but multiple. We're shooting for 2. And we do have more openings. Normally, if people are table tipping with me in person, we're limited to, pre-COVID days, we're limited to like 8 or 9 seats. So this actually gives us a few more seats to be able to bring people and Spirit through. So it does take a little bit longer because we have more people. But you can actually go to purchase your ticket, and you do need to purchase your ticket. You're actually sent the Zoom link the day of the event. To purchase your ticket, you can go to Facebook under Avalon Enchanted, just like under my name, Avalon Enchanted on Facebook. And then you can actually go to events, and then you find October 13th, and you can purchase your ticket that way. So you can also go to my website, which is avalonenchanted.com. Look for the drop-down menu that says events and classes, and it will show you the calendar. And you can click on the link for October for the day of the event and purchase your ticket that way. So there's a couple different options to purchase your ticket, but you do need a ticket. Otherwise, we don't know to send the Zoom link to you. So that's something that is important. Again, there are seats still available. And I know I'm going to ask Steve just to kind of give us a little bit more information. Why do you table tip? Why do you do it?
Just the pleasure of seeing when everyone in awe. I mean, I've yet to ever been on a table where there's not tears, and it's always tears of joy. And the spirit's there. So that's what I was saying earlier. They're there for themselves, just to give the spirit pleasure, to give the people that's on the pleasure gives me pleasure. I just do it because I love doing it, and I just love seeing people happy and making the spirit happy.
I definitely agree with you, Steve. I feel a lot of it is done out of honor and respect. And I know Steve feels the same way about that. So we bring forward that we take our role as a medium, providing this service, providing this opportunity seriously. So that way we can deliver these messages. And I know as a medium, and I'm sure you probably feel to some degree the same way, there's a lot of stuff that you have to do in order to kind of keep yourself grounded, cleared, on, in tip-top shape in regards to being able to connect with the other side, whether it be just before an event, whether it be the day of an event, whether it be every day, because we definitely connect and disconnect and connect and disconnect all day long. And so I just wanted to mention that, we do take this seriously. We ask you when you come to table, whether it be in person, whether it be remotely, you come with an open heart and an open mind. Okay.
And I just like to add that a lot of people think about the table, they think about the Ouija board. Just remember, we do it because we love doing it, and the Ouija board was a game by Milton Bradley. This has been going on for decades.
Yeah, this is something that dates back to Victorian times. People were actually connecting with their loved ones with a three-legged table throughout World War I and the Civil War, throughout the US and Europe. And it's been documented that President and Mrs. Lincoln both table tipped in the White House. And I know I've said quite often that there have been numbers of different mediums in and out of the White House during the Lincoln administration. So this was not uncommon. I mean, this was not out of the ordinary. This was very common during the 1800s, early 1900s, and so on. It wasn't until you had people that were thinking, oh, well, I can definitely play basically prey on people who are in grief and kind of make some money. And then you had the likes of Harry Houdini that was really trying to kind of shine a spotlight on things and shut everything down and get rid of the people that were in it for the wrong reasons. And unfortunately, I see why he did it, but unfortunately, it also caused the people that were doing it for the right reasons, the people that were doing it correctly, to go underground. And I feel like there definitely has been a resurgence coming back up, and people are starting to see it more and more. So this is a form of physical mediumship that allows a physical phenomenon.
I call this the grandpapa because we can sit and people, as you know, as we're mediums, we say things that their mouths drop, and they're like, well, how'd you know that? And we just say, well, they told us. But the table tells it all right there, and that's what's amazing about the table.
Yeah, it's not like Steve and I are sitting there Googling people before we step on table. Because half the time, for those of you that know me and have table tipped with me, I can barely remember your name.
I have to write them down.
And there are times when half the time, I remember even when I was on the last virtual table tip, I think I forgot your name too, at least once. So I'm like, yeah, this one over here. So
well, we both got a little bubbly at the end, that's for sure. That was a long time.
So, so there are seats still available. You can go to Avalon Enchanted on Facebook under events and sign up that way. Click the link to Moon Clerk and sign up that way. Go to AvalonEnchanted.com under events, go to the calendar for October and purchase your ticket that way. Right now, at this time, there are 10 tickets still left. It is from Tuesday, October 13th from 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. Eastern Time.
Tori, I think you also set that up on mine on Sense of Spirit. I think they can even go there and do it too through you.
Perfect. So you can also go to Sense of Spirit. As long as Steve posts the link, then you should be able to get into it that way. Mm-hmm. And I am very honored to work with Steve. I actually approached Steve about working with this partnership because I know I needed another medium that had table tips on a regular basis, can help in terms of anchoring and really protecting space. So people are very much in a secure environment, whether it be in person when working with Steve or whether it be online with the virtual table tipping. We both have our everything buttoned down is what I'm trying to say. And we make sure of that. So that's one thing I definitely wanted to kind of mention to everybody.
I will also say that I am very honored when your teacher asks you to work beside them. That's like that is just touches you right here in the heart. So thank you, Tori.
That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you. So I know, Steve, you said that you have some readings available at Tiffany P's jewelry store at Tivoli
On
Corners on Saturday the 17th.
17th. Yeah, not like I said, I have plenty. I have quite a bit of availability. This week's getting full, but a lot of availability next week at my house. They can see it on my page.
Okay, so if you go to Sense of Spirit on Facebook, you
or
can
Steve Jones.
Or Steve Jones, you can set up an appointment with him, whether it be if you're going to be at Tiffany P's store in Tiverton Four Corners on the 17th of October, or whether it be you're going to set up an appointment with him either in person there in Dartmouth or even on Zoom. You have that opportunity. My schedule's getting a little bit wacky. You know, soon as Halloween is kind of like the Super Bowl for me. So things start to kind of get a little bit wacky, but right now I'm gearing up for a really big show, a really, really big show this coming Saturday. And there are still tickets available. I believe there are 40 tickets available for the daytime portion of the show. It is a carnival, and it's actually in Johnston at the Johnston Flea Market grounds on Saturday the 3rd. And it is going to be a Halloween themed carnival. So it's going to be magic shows. It's going to be musical entertainment. I believe there's also a drag queen show. There's also a woman that is going to be there signing autographs from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's going to be readers, all sorts of different readers. I am reading, and I am offering a reading special of 15 minutes for $25 or $50 for 30 minutes. I'm also vending. I'm vending the crowns. Those are going to be there. I still have some more to make because I've been getting a lot of custom orders. But those are going to be available. The oils that I make are available, like the Moldavite oil, the Merlin meditation oil, the illumination oil if you're looking to start a new project or to get things going, that spark of illumination. And then Awen as well, which is a great ceremonial oil for magic. So I also am going to be vending crystals, palm stones, points, and so on. So I'm going to be there peddling my wares and doing readings. So come by, definitely get your ticket for the Two Mediums virtual event. And then people can message me directly if they are interested in a reading or a past life regression. Like I said, October is getting a little wacky. So you're better off messaging me sooner rather than later, because once I get into a certain time frame with ghost tours and so on, then I run out of days. There needs to be more days in October. How about that? There needs to be more days in the week. I don't know if you're on board with that one or not.
Sometimes, yes.
For October, yeah. So anyhow, thank you so much, Steve. People can get in touch with Steve at
Thank you
Steve
for having me.
on Facebook. What's your email?
sjones7805 @yahoo.
Okay. They can also reach you at Steve Jones on Facebook. They can also reach you at A Sense of Spirit on Facebook as well. And people can reach me on Facebook. They can reach me on Avalon Enchanted on Facebook. They can reach me by email at tori@avalonenchanted.com or on my website, etc. So please, by all means, reach out to us if you have questions. If you have questions about any of our events, any of our readings, any of our opportunities. I know I'm also teaching different classes. Right now I'm in the process of finishing up. I'm halfway through a tarot certification class that I'm actually teaching, but I will be offering that probably in January, I'm thinking, when things start to kind of calm down after the new year. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff. And I think we'll also run this again, maybe closer to the holidays, depending upon what is going on.
Yeah, I think that if we can both agree on it, that like a couple of weeks before the Christmas, because that's when a lot of people will be thinking about their loved one that's no longer with us, and they'll be thinking about the ones that they wish they were here. So, whatever you think you do, we can do that. Would probably be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, we may even do it the week between Christmas and New Year's, because sometimes
That's probably not a bad idea either.
about New Year's and stuff like that. But we can talk more about that. Anyhow,
Okay.
if people have questions, message us, email
Right.
us, carrier pigeon, smoke signal. I don't care. But I will see you, Steve, on the 13th. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining me.
Oh, thank you. And you're going to put this on Facebook, you said?
I am going to upload this to YouTube.
YouTube.
So it will be on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
And then I am going to give you the link so you can put it on your Facebook page, and I will plaster it all over the place on mine.
Thank you so much.
All right. Have a great evening, and thank you again. I will see you on the 13th.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.